Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Thailand. Listen, today we're going to take a look at planting fruit trees in clay soil and the reasons why you need to plant high. Let's take a look at it together. One of the things I've come to appreciate living up here in the subtropical regions of northern Thailand is that a lot of the conventional wisdom that goes into fruit trees, like back in our temperate environments in the US and over in Europe, don't really apply here. Weeds and grass around the base of the tree, you don't have to worry about that. Mulching around the tree's base, you don't have to worry about that. Fertilizing, you don't even have to worry about that. And as far as water goes, well, that is one thing that Thailand is not short on, is water. And frankly, the reason why all these things are able to exist is because of this right here, this heavy, dense, mineral-rich clay soil. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a real pain in the keister to work with, but let me tell you something. Once you've really put in the time and effort, it really is a favorable soil to work with. And I'll tell you why. Because even though it's heavy and it's dense and it is a pain to dig, it is mineral dense. And that is exactly what these trees need. These trees are needing to be able to access the nutrients that is in the soil. And the best way for that to happen is by not fertilizing them, but by adding the microbes, which is what you're going to see me do here. Now, this is a nutrient channel, not a microbe channel that I'm putting in place. It's going to consist primarily of sand, black leaf mold, and also some wood charcoal. But the basis for the way in which this works is just to make sure, based on the size of the pot that your tree is currently in, that you go ahead and you make a nutrient channel somewhere between 6 to 8 inches down below the surface of the soil. Go ahead and start adding your things in, and like for instance, the wood charcoal here, this has been sitting at the bottom of my black leaf mold barrel for the past year, so it is really ready to go. I spray things down with lactic acid bacteria, which is a Korean farming input, and the reason is because it really just helps get the microbes in there that I really want to have. Top it off with some black leaf mold and then just backfill the hole. Now, you're going to let this sit for a couple days, and once it's had a chance to rest for about a day or two, you're going to come back out and you're going to start to rake things over again so that you can go ahead and get your hole dug for your tree, which is what you're going to see me do here in just a couple minutes. But as you can see, it's had a chance to kind of dry out a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're simply going to dig your hole. Now this hole for the tree, you only want to go down just about 2 to 3 inches above your nutrient channel. You don't want to pierce into that nutrient channel. So just a really shallow hole, because we are going to plant high. And the reason we're going to be planting high is because there's a certain key component to every tree that you do not want to bury. And you're going to see that a little bit later on here in the video. But right now what I'm doing is I'm simply just digging a very shallow hole, because I am going to put some further nutrients inside of this hole in the way of more black leaf mold and really, really key ingredients that are going to help in the way of microbes. Specifically that of the azos and the mycos bacteria and fungi from extreme gardening. These are excellent products for being able to get a tree or a plant started in a new permanent spot. Just dig it down kind of like that. That's a good 6 inches from the surface. So the first thing I put in here is some black leaf mold. Now this is kind of dry, so I'm going to be wetting it down so it sticks a little bit better. You don't have to go wild with the water right now. In fact, the spray bottle is perfectly fine. You just want to get it kind of damp. And that way it separates out a little bit easier. Sticks to the size of your hole a little bit easier. Yeah, enough said. Now this year, you didn't see me do this last year, but this year I am also going to be adding worm castings because I have them. Last year I didn't, this year I do. It's okay to put in with your planting hole. It's just additional nutrient and microbe. It'll definitely help the tree get its start. Spray it down. A little bit of a beneficial bacteria known as azos. This just helps with transplant shock. And then the amendment that I love almost as any other natural farming input there is, mycos. This is mycorrhizal fungi. Go ahead and wet them down. This will make sure that they're ready and they're active when the tree goes in. And now here's the real key when it comes to planting in clay soil. especially when it comes to trees or any other type of perennial plant. You want to plant high. And the reason, most people will think, well, that's where the surface is, so I'll just plant it level with the surface. The tree is going to settle as well as the ground, and you don't want to bury the root flare. Now, right here below the surface of the soil that the tree's been in is where the roots initially start to form. That is called the root flare. You do not want to bury this. So this is why you plant high. Just like that. Clay is so heavy, but it is mineral dense. I mean, this is loaded with nutrient. It's just not plant available. It's inert, meaning it's not available to the plant for uptake. I mean, there we go. Now you can rake this smooth with your rake and then water it in. And gang, that's how you plant in clay soil successfully. And by successfully, I mean if you take a look at this little custard apple from back in March of 2021, look at where it's at now. That has never been fertilized, and neither have any of the other trees on my property except for what was given to them when they were first planted in the ground. The nutrient channel 6 to 8 inches below, plus what was put in their planting hole with mycorrhiza and the Azospacterium bacterium has definitely helped them out. They've done really well, but now, a year later, it is time to start doing some more with them. And by more with them, what I mean is I'm going to share with you guys my compost tea regime, but the first thing that I'm going to be covering before we get to that is something new that I'm adding just this year. And guys, I don't mean to sound like a snake oil salesman, but I'm going to tell you something. If this turns out to be everything I've researched, this truly is a game changer. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and share it with somebody that you know. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd really love it if you'd consider doing that as well, and hit the bell notification icon if you would, so that you can be alerted when I upload new content. Listen, wherever you are in this world today or tonight, you take care. Bye for now.